So after getting the Keycaps 84, it kind of became obvious to me that I was kind of obsessed with mechanical keyboards. So I wanted to build my own, and didn't just want to drop $300 to $500 on this thing. So I got this, pretty relatively cheap in comparison to these other expensive keyboards or kits. Additionally, I wanted a board that I can kind of keep for a really long time. So I got this. It's the GK64. It's hot swappable, and it's not aluminum, but it's pretty sturdy plastic, and it's again, it's a good starter kit for someone just getting into mechanical keyboards. And yes, I do work for McDonald's, so if you're watching this from work, hi, hello. With the box came this gray cable, which is actually like pretty surprisingly good and pretty premium for something something of this price. Not expected, and yes, I approve. Again, it came with the switch puller, their standard metal one. It also came with this other like plasticky black switch puller, which honestly I don't think I'd ever use, but whatever, it works I guess. Oh yeah, and the special part of the board is that you can actually split the spacebar into I don't know, I think this is 1.75 or 2U separate keys, which is pretty cool, but I don't think I'll ever use it. Like I already said, the PCB is hot swappable, which is, really good for a beginner like me who doesn't want to solder and go through all that work. And the plate is aluminum and the case is plastic. I don't know why I thought it was aluminum at first, whatever. But it is pretty hefty, and there's actually not a lot of bend, which I'm kind of surprised about. I did try and open this board, and I don't know, there's some screws that you actually can't take out. It's just like kind of stuck in there, and I didn't want to force anything. So I mean, if you have any luck taking it off, I mean that'll be cool. And I wanted to just take it off in order to show the PCB and all, separate the plate from the case, but I couldn't do that, and I couldn't tell if there was foam or anything in between that, so sorry about that. I don't know how I didn't notice that at first, but the board actually doesn't have, or the case doesn't actually have any flip-up feet, which is kind of bad. And it is pretty standard in boards, so it's kind of weird seeing it from this, but I guess you don't really need it with the angle that the case is in. The stabilizers do come factory lube, which I know most people probably wouldn't like, but I'm not too picky about it. It's whatever, I did wipe off some excess lube. The PCB is full RGB, and yeah, it's nice and bright and all, which is cool, but the software for it, it's terrible. Like, I'm not really like an RGB lover, and most of the time RGB is just turned off on my keyboard, but I have to admit, like, the software for this is like terrible in comparison to like Corsair or Razer or whatever. It's just, the UI is just not cool at all. I don't know, I don't like it. So I mean, if RGB is a big deal to you, I would suggest not getting this board because of how like uncustomizable it is, but you do you, man. And for switches for today, I went with Gateron Blacks, which are actually hot swap from my Keycaps 84, which I reviewed in the other video. I just love these. I mean, I lubed them with Crytox 205G0, and they feel great. It's like the weight of it and everything, it feels really smooth, and I don't know. I mean, I got yellows too, but I don't know, I like the weight of it. Here are the Gateron Blacks in all its glory. Also take note of like the layout of the board, because it's not your traditional 65 where everything is kind of just pushed to the right. This is like, in this board, like the left shift is 2U instead of 2.25U, so finding keycaps for this is kind of gonna be like really weird, and the right shift is just 1U, which is weird for typing. The keycaps that I ordered hasn't come in, so I just used these ones from the Keycaps 84, and they're just some thick PBT plastic, which is standard. And altogether, here's how the board sounds like. So final thoughts on the board: $60 for this plate, case, and PCB. Big thumbs up for me. It's really good for its price, and you know, you might get messed up by the fact that you can't get a lot of keycaps, or you'd have to buy a lot of like keycap sets in order to fill it out. But it's worth it for me, and you know, just getting keycaps and switches for it probably will put you around $100 to $120, which is the same kind of price that you'll get for any board like this. So it's really good for its price. The pros are the stabilizers are actually surprisingly good, and the case doesn't make a lot of, you know, it doesn't have any ping at all actually. You know, it is plastic and it shouldn't make a ping, but sometimes it's like that, and it doesn't make a ping. I couldn't tell if there's foam inside, so if you somehow get this to open, put foam inside, it'll make it better. The cable's good, but the cons are that like the software is kind of terrible and it's not really usable, and of course the fact that you have to find a lot of like weird keycaps for it. But aside from that, it's a good board, and I definitely recommend it to anyone coming in that is a beginner to the mechanical keyboard scene.